At the Master Gardener hotline, we receive a lot of phone calls from people who complain about the fact that the public utility has gone through their landscape and pruned their trees. And they complain about the fact that maybe they've been over pruned. And what I suggest to them is, number one, it is not the tree's fault, because the tree is there to live long and prosper. And it's not the utility's fault, because they're protecting our electrical service, they're protecting our phone lines, they're protecting Cablevision, and they have to do that sometimes by pruning tree limbs. Is it the homeowner's fault? Perhaps. If they've selected the wrong tree and planted it in the wrong spot to where it grows up and interferes with those overhead power lines. So what I suggest is that what people need to do is plan before they even think about installing large ornamentals or trees in their landscape. What they really need to do is look at their landscape from the curb and say, what does this landscape need in order to make it look better? That could be a specimen tree, which is an accent point in their landscape. It could be a larger tree which would provide shade for their home in the summer. It could be screening plants like evergreens that would provide buffering from cold winter winds. They should select a tree not because they think it's what they need, but what would fit in their landscape. So it has to be the appropriate tree that will live in this environment, has to be a tree that's going to complement their home and not be a maintenance nightmare for them. And the best time to plant a tree or to relocate a large ornamental in your landscape is actually the fall. That's when the tree is going into some dormancy, which means it's slowing down. So its root structure is not putting demands on the soil for the elements that it needs to feed itself. The next best time is probably very, very late in the winter or early spring. Never, ever think about putting in large ornamentals or trees in the summer, because that would be high maintenance in order to make sure that that particular plant survives. Now, the other thing is that you want to have an excellent preparation site before you even purchase the plant that you're going to put in your landscape. Make sure that you're ready for it before you bring it home. And then when you get it, make sure that the diameter of the planting hole is at least 3 times bigger than the diameter of the root ball that's going to be installed. And you want to make sure that the hole you dig is only as deep and not deeper than the root ball itself, because you want to have it planted high in our compacted soils in most cases. So if you put a tree underneath that power line, what you're going to wind up with is a tree growing into the power line, and that's when that arborist has to come by and whack that thing, and then you get upset and you call us up at Cooperative Extension and complain about your public utility. It's not the public utility's fault. It's not the tree's fault. It's the homeowner's fault for putting the tree where he shouldn't have put it. The same thing's true when you dig a hole. Because when you dig a hole, do you know what's underneath the soil in your landscape? Believe it or not, you could have Cablevision lines, you could have your power lines, you could have your phone line. More importantly, there could be a natural gas line running into your home. And before you dig in your yard, that's the number you need to call. My suggestion, if you have a tree that seems to be in a location where it could cause some difficulty with those overhead lines, then I suggest calling an arborist. And make sure that it's a certified arborist, so that you have somebody who can give you good advice or can do the tree pruning for you that will best protect the tree's health and also protect the neighborhood and the overhead power lines. So you must know, number one, what is the mature size of the plant that you're shopping for? And if you see a plant that you really like, or a tree that you really like that red bud behind me here, then make sure you understand that that thing has the maximum height potential of about 18 feet. And if that power line is lower than 18 feet, don't put the red bud underneath it. Put it off to the sides. If you're concerned about what to plant and what the mature size of the planting would be, either have a really good garden book or call Cooperative Extension. And in North Carolina, every county has a Cooperative Extension office located in the county. In Cumberland County, for example, ours is located in Fayetteville, and the number for them is 910-321-6882. That's an easy number to remember, and you'll get somebody who can tell you all about the plant that you want to know.